Welcome to Straight No Chaser. So grab a glass and join your hosts, your girl and BZ, Thin Bad, and the Chief. Welcome to Straight No Chaser, where we never dilute the issues, we only serve the hard stuff. It's the Chief, and joining us this week, and he's back, is Pastor C. Welcome, Pastor C. Welcome back.
Hey, Chief. Good to be back, sir.
Good to have you back. And, of course, your girl, Ambeezy, is on an assignment, and Thin Bad is on the way. So tonight we have an interesting combination of topics. Tonight we're going to be talking religion and we're going to be talking sports. So let's jump right in. For decades, the church has been the pillar of many communities, regardless of race or national origin. In addition to providing spiritual nourishment, the church was the anchor for civil rights activities, leading the effort to help refugees, educating students abroad, protecting the rights of women, or advocating for the homeless. Regardless of the cause, the church has always been influential in communities across the country. So let's fast forward to today. Today we are in the Instagram era. Everything is now instant, it's live, and it's global. So just the very sound of my voice is already around the world in a matter of seconds. So with that comes better outreach, and it's also changed attitudes. And we've noticed that attitudes sometimes appear to be changing. Some people, they still attend church regularly, while others worship denominations that may be hundreds or thousands of miles away via Facebook, YouTube, or cable. To compound the instant gratification movement, some denominations have experienced high-profile challenges. We've seen the CNN and Fox News reports about child abuse and fraud that have happened in some denominations. And because that is sometimes the only source of information for some people, that has led some to adopt a broad brush attitude. Do churches still matter? To help us discuss this issue is a guest that we're very happy to have with us this evening, is Pastor W. Anthony Lawson, the senior pastor of Jumping Run Ministries in LaGrange, North Carolina. Now, before we welcome Pastor Lawson, let me remind the audience that you can call in at 702-425-7789, or you can chat with us live because we want to hear from you. And again, the number is 702-425-7789. So, Pastor Lawson, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. I'm glad to be here.
Indeed, it's a pleasure to have you on the show tonight. So without any further ado, let's jump right in. First, let's start off. Tell the audience about Jumping Run Ministries.
Our church is in eastern North Carolina. If anybody's at all familiar with North Carolina, we're not far from the ocean, about an hour from the Atlantic Ocean, and the state capital is Raleigh, North Carolina. We're about 77 miles east of Raleigh. So we're in eastern North Carolina. And we are located close to Kinston, North Carolina, Goldsboro, where Seymour Johnson Air Force Base is. And that's where we are.
Fantastic. Well, again, we really appreciate you being here this evening. And you know, thank you so much. And of course, as I indicated earlier, challenges are impacting every vocation, whether it's the police department, the post office. It doesn't matter the vocation, the NFL. Every vocation has challenges, but with every vocation, the broad brush approach is extremely unfair. So with that being said, kind of tell us, when people are saying, does the church still matter? Talk to us about the kind of programming that Jumping Run Ministries offers that shows people that, yes, the church definitely still matters.
Well, we try to be active in the community, especially with youth. There's a definite gap in church attenders these days, especially in what they call millennials. Many of the baby boomers are still in church because they were brought to church as children. But then we have the millennial group who were not compelled to attend church, so a lot of them never actually cultivated the habit of church attendance. So we're blessed at our local assembly to have, several people in that millennial group. But then a lot of churches are suffering now because the baby boomers are getting older, and some of them have declining health. So there is a challenge with attendance to local churches, especially of the millennial group. And I think if the church faces a challenge now, it's the challenge of trying to appeal to that generation that is, as you say, used to Instagram, Facebook, and other types of social media and instant gratification that they sometimes offer.
Sure.
So we really try to reach out to the teenagers especially, and to the millennial group in non-traditional kind of ways. I think because one thing that's turned that group off is the traditional approach to church as usual.
So when you talk about some of your non-traditional outreach, can you kind of give us a couple of examples of that?
Yeah, we target that group through things like singles ministry, to try to touch singles ministry. We have a youth program that we call JUMP, J-U-M-P Ministries, and that stands for Juveniles Under the Master's Plan. My son is the youth minister at our church, and he's over that ministry. Once a month, they have a meeting where they discuss topics that are facing the youth of today. And while they're there, they also do some fun kind of things. Like we have what we call the Jump House, which is loaded with video games, pool tables, ping pong tables, that kind of thing. And they have a social hour, and then they have an hour when they go in and talk about issues that relate to them. And then we try at that same time to present them with some Bible principles that they can apply to their lives. Hopefully that would bring them a measure of success.
Wow, that sounds great.
That is good.
And we also, Kinston is a basketball town.
Sure.
Probably, and I haven't really done the research, but we probably put more pro players in the NBA than any small town in the United States. I think we got like 9 people have gone to the NBA from Kinston.
Oh, wow.
And we have we have four that's gone to the NFL and one that plays baseball. So we have an annual event, which is a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. Basketball is real big in this city. It's a small town, but we have a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. It's an all-day event, and it's for young men. Next year we're going to expand it to young ladies as well, because we also have had a young lady to go to the WNBA. So that is something in this community that really captivates the young people. So we put on the annual basketball event, and our church is located in between 3 cities. Kinston, LaGrange, and Snow Hill, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So there's quite an interest in those three cities for especially basketball. So the 3-on-3 tournament is a big event. We're in our 5th year, and Kinston only has 20,000 people in it.
Mm-hmm.
The whole county has about 56,000 people.
Wow.
It's very unique because in the state of North Carolina, last year we had the second highest crime rate, and during much of 2018 we were number 1 in the state in murders.
Oh wow!
Wow.
So it's a very depressed community. We used to have a DuPont plant here that closed,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the major industry other than farming, tobacco. When the tobacco program went down, that greatly depressed our community. So basketball has kind of been a big thing in our community.
And what
the basketball tournament is a big deal.
Okay, Pastor Lawson, this is Pastor C. And with those statistics that you've shared, how important, from your perspective, is the role of the church in the area that you serve?
I think it's very important. And again, I think the church, has to really take a non-traditional kind of stance.
Mm-hmm.
We have to kind of try to become all things to all people so that we might win some.
Yes.
So you have to kind of get out of the box and try to get in the community as much as possible through outreach. We've done some other non-traditional things, like we've done some gas giveaways,
right?
Where we partner with a local gas station and actually give away $10 worth of gas to everybody who will come through. And of course, while they're coming through, we are prepared to share the gospel with them.
Yeah.
We've done clothing giveaways. We have a satellite branch of the church in one of the communities where we, seek to do outreach. So we just had to get out the box and do what the Lord said we're supposed to do, which is go into the world, not just stay in the church. So it's a challenge, but we try to do it.
Right. I do understand that too. And my question is too, me being a pastor here in Las Vegas as well, I was wondering, from your perspective and where you are, what are the top 3 challenges facing the church in the quest to serve its members and the surrounding community? What are the things that the church is challenged with in our quest and our endeavor to serve our membership and our communities?
I think on a national basis, which then trickles down to the local church, we have such a erosion of values and morality. And I think the erosion of values and morality, has really impacted the church because, people just at a point now where they don't have the moral fiber that we used to see in people, especially those in the baby boomers. There was a time when people came to church on Sunday regardless of what they did on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
They would show up in church. They still would show up, even if a lot of them came from the club,
Right.
because that was something they had been. That's something they'd been brought up with.
Right.
We have a generation now that wasn't brought up in church. So I would say number one is a national erosion of values, and I think this is seen today, especially through the political climate that we see in the United States. The other thing is, one thing that has kind of made the church kind of implode, of course, is most people look at these mega churches,
right,
and of course the mega churches that have had mega failures have negatively impacted all churches. Some of the real I mean, we might as well be real. Some of the real big names that have